welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore.
I'm Krishna Kumar, coming to you live from ET Now's Mumbai studios. First up, we have a very interesting discussion, isn't it, Chandra?
That's right, Krishna. You know, in recent months, internet companies like Twitter, Square have gone out of flavor in the US. Morgan Stanley recently slashed valuations of portfolio companies like Flipkart, Dropbox and Palantir. Clearly, there is a lot of stress as far as valuations in the tech space is concerned. But what ramifications will this have on the Indian startup ecosystem, and how can entrepreneurs be better prepared? That's the question that we put to an expert panel at Venture Intelligence's Apex Summit in Bangalore. Let's listen to those key takeaways.
There is a bearish sentiment. There is a bearish phase. In 2015, there was run-up in valuations. Companies got valued higher than what, in my opinion, is logical. There were more funds chasing, therefore lot more capital, lot higher valuation than normal. But if you look at it, that is true for every market.
Granted, there were several instances in the last couple of years where companies raised more capital than they really needed, and also higher valuations that were really justified. Now, as Ganesh said, this is just a pendulum swing in different directions. The pendulum happened to swing in that direction last year. This year, I don't see that the funding has dried up. I think funding is still very much there. There are several venture funds that raised capital in the last 1 year that are actively investing today.
The focus is more on efficient use of capital. The focus is more on product development. The focus is more on getting customer traction, and the focus is more on generating cash and profitability. So I think the model is different in B2B. The valuations of B2B were never, in that sense, reached the stratospheric levels like B2C.
My focus has always been the world and never only India or never only Bangalore. So effectively, whether there's a boom, a bust, these things don't matter, because you're addressing a huge market opportunity which will never change. The battery business may be growing at 2% globally, but because it's $1 billion or a $2 billion business, in the separator side, you're addressing.
Uber has opened its first engineering center in Asia in IT hub Bengaluru. ET Now's Rahul Dayama caught up with Uber's global CTO Thuan Pham on the significance of the center and why they chose India over China. He also reaffirmed that India is very critical to Uber's global ambitions and is on track to be their biggest market as yet. Listen in.
We pioneered the cash payment here first, and now that is being rolled out to other parts of the world. So, I expect more and more of those things to continue. For example, when we really nail the low connectivity problem, where our app can function with or without network connectivity, imagine how wonderful that is that we can bring into other parts of the world like Africa, etc.
Also, this is your first engineering center here in Asia. One would really draw parallels. China is also a very significant market. So why not China and why India?
When you think about having a big market like this, when you want to make a big impact, and there's a huge talent pool, top-notch talent pool in the local market, it makes it a really easy decision for us to decide to build an engineering data center here, because the talent pool over here will allow us to grow and grow very rapidly to do very impactful work. Everybody on Earth needs to move around, and our mission is to allow everyone in every city to move around with that level of efficiency and ease, and so it's a huge market potential for us, and very amazing ground for innovation to deliver that kind of service, our service at planet scale like this.
Lastly, payments is very crucial. You pioneered the cash payment here in India. Wallets, Paytm is what you've partnered with. Would you, going forward, look at an inorganic strategy to, in the wallet space, so to say?
I don't envision us being a bank, for example, to do that kind of thing. All I'm trying to do is basically build an architecture that we can plug in different payment technology for different major markets around the world, right? For India, those are the ones that you mentioned. In the US, there are multiple types of payments. There are credit card, different type of credit card. There's even credit points on credit card that people can use. PayPal, etc. In China, they're very similar technology stack like that we integrate in. So we want to build a platform that allows you to plug in different things like that.
And in our final segment, 3 mistakes, we talked to Seed Fund's Mahesh Murthy on the 3 mistakes he made in his career that you can learn from.
The big mistakes are in really believing that the US VC fund model works in India. The standard American VC fund model really involves you spending, investing for a period of 8 to 10 years and then giving all the money back. The fact is we're doing early stage, and in 8 to 10 years if you start investing, let's say, it's February 2016, I raise money now, I have to return money by February 2024. Assume it takes me 2-3 years to raise the money. The early stage investee company can get to any kind of stature in 4-5 years. You can't. So I do now know absolutely that Indian companies tend to take longer. Just Dial went public after 17 years, Make My Trip took 12 years, Naukri took 11 years. So it's crazy to assume that anything will happen in 8 years. So the big mistake was understanding that 8 years is enough to do early stage. It's not enough. The second mistake is basically in assuming that, the entrepreneur can figure stuff out. What I've seen after doing 50, 55 companies, the first 2-3 years, most companies go flat because they don't yet have that entire team of people to work with them. And once the team comes in, you can see the company grow faster. So I figured that, I'm now condemned to an era of companies being flat for 3 years. I know that that can't work out anymore, and I now know that if I was to do another fund, I'm going to have a team of people in the fund who work with all the companies at an operational level from year 1 to year 3, so that the company's growth is not stopped by the fact that it hasn't been able to attract quality manpower right off at the start. I think that's the second mistake. I think the third mistake I really understand is to really discount how important word of mouth is. In every single place that we've been successful, whether it's a Redbus or a Chumbak or a Carvale or a Edu Sports or a My Dentist, we've seen word of mouth work, and word of mouth comes from really having a clear understanding of your target audience and of getting an insight into their behavior and of figuring out what is it that I need to do to get the target audience to become an unpaid evangelist for my brand. We spent too little time figuring this out, and what I'm going to do from now on to fix this is to make sure that this is the number one priority. Figure out what is remark-worthy about this offering, what is remark-worthy about this product, and if there's nothing remark-worthy, then don't launch it. Don't spend money advertising it. So it's really about creating a remark-worthy, differentiated product. So these are the 3 mistakes that I have learned from in my life.
With that, we come to the end of Startup Central today. Krishna, chock-a-block with breaking stories. But with that, it's over to you.
Well, absolutely. There's lots more expected on the way for the rest of the evening as well. So we will wrap things up here on this edition of ET Now Startup Central. I will see you on the other side with the ET Now News First at 7.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.